Right, welcome. A sequel to Shin Godzilla is not confirmed, but it is highly likely, interestingly enough. And I say interestingly enough because, of course, well, you'd think that they would have just been pushing on with -1, to be honest. Not that I hate this news, I think this is great news. Shin Godzilla is a fantastic film, as is Godzilla -1. So this dropped yesterday as part of a Bloomberg article, which is behind a paywall, so we can't take a look at it directly. We can skirt around it and look at everyone else reporting on it. But it is interesting, it's fascinating. So all of the headlines you'll see is like, sequel to Shin Godzilla confirmed, or reportedly in the works. It is reportedly in the works at this point in time. We don't know. We don't know. So as this article states, it's certainly a good time to be a Godzilla fan. The Monsterverse is trudging along with another new installment, Godzilla x Kong Supernova, which is set to be released in domestic theatres on March 26, 2027. Now, a report from Bloomberg has revealed that there are 3 Godzilla theatrical projects in the works over in Japan, including sequels, so these are direct sequels to Godzilla -1 and Shin Godzilla. Now, I think that's interesting because I do think that Shin, being in the title, can be a good way to separate the franchises. I think it can definitely distinguish between the two. I mean, it's one franchise, the Godzilla franchise. But if you're creating separate IP, different universes, that sort of thing, I think having it as a Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1 as a time moniker is a good way to do it. So a sequel to -1 was already confirmed, but the reveal of another Shin Godzilla installment is certainly welcome news. And everyone really liked the end of Shin Godzilla because it was a fascinating way to end. Well, I say everyone liked it. Most people liked it. People were like, well, what the hell is going on here then? What are these humanoid things coming out of Godzilla then, huh? What's happening here? So, as Kaiju News outlet stated here, a sequel for Shin Godzilla could potentially be in the works per Bloomberg. Quote, building on Godzilla -1's performance, Toho is planning a sequel for as soon as next year, plus a potential sequel to the film Shin Godzilla and a still untitled Southeast Asia focused project. Now, that's quite interesting because they're differentiating between both Godzilla films and then a Southeast Asia focused project. So apparently the Shin Godzilla and the other, Godzilla -1 sequel, they're not Southeast Asia focused. I mean, obviously they will cater to that market, but they're not Southeast Asia focused. And the response has been great. It's been really, really good. A sequel to Shin would be an end of humanity movie, unless they change what he was becoming and shift his lore elsewhere. He was quite literally mid-transformation, which would have been unstoppable. True. But still interesting. I would take what Bloomberg says with a grain of salt until we hear what Toho says. Fair. Fair. And again, someone else points out Southeast Asia focused project. Interesting. That makes sense with the Godzilla Sea Travel ad with the cool spines. I like that they're branching out Godzilla into different forms. If Shin Goji 2 doesn't happen as a live action film, I hope they let Anno do whatever he wants as an anime. Not going to lie, making a million different versions of Godzilla within a decade and not following one storyline is making me value the character less and less. Well, that's where you're wrong, good sir. Because they definitely seem to be focusing on one and, well, 2 versions, basically. And then there's other people tweeting this as well. So, discussing film, Toho is planning a potential sequel for Shin Godzilla. Million views. No CGI monkey could ever touch the menace of Shin Godzilla. Put the first on streaming already. That is true. It does need to go on streaming. Do we need it? Yeah, I think so. Why not? I had thought all hope was lost for this. I mean, look, the response is I would say overwhelmingly positive. A Shin Godzilla sequel would be wild. Political satire meets kaiju chaos again. Count me in if Toho really goes for it. Obviously, we don't know. Like, we just don't know whether this is the case. It looks to be pretty legit. To a degree, anyway. But, yeah. Someone says that they're going to get confused with it. I disagree. Here's Jeffrey J. Hall. I talked to Bloomberg about Toho's global ambitions, noting their involvement in very successful anime franchises. So this is in direct response to this article that was over on Bloomberg. Another bright spot for Toho is its anime, over which it already has full control, no matter the language. Management plans to create new titles and roll out more seasons of such hits as Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm butchering that, soz, which follows a high school student in a secret society of sorcerers, and My Hero Academia, about a superhero in training. The anime side of their business seems to have made a lot of wise choices, says Jeffrey Hall, a lecturer at Kanda University of International Studies in Chiba. They've been hitting a lot of anime home runs. Ultimately, anime may be bigger than Godzilla for the company, Hall says, helping its recent run in the government's Cool Japan strategy, aimed at bolstering the economy, tourism, and the country's soft power by exporting more Japanese culture. The nation has said it wants to quadruple the amount of content it sells in overseas markets by 2033. So just a quick sideline there, I guess, to this element of the Godzilla thing. Interestingly, Bloomberg's own tweet has like fuck all, essentially. For lack of a better word, they basically just nothing there. So for those that don't know, Shin Godzilla was released in 2016, presents a bold and unsettling reimagining of the classic monster, emphasizing realism and political commentary. They all effectively have political commentary to some degree. It was interesting though, because the creature had very many different forms. It was interesting. It was really interesting. It just kept changing as well, and that's why at the end it was sort of mutating into these like humanoid things. It was fascinating, and it was a new, bold, new take on the iconic character, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be fascinating to see what happens with this. I think this will be pretty well received, though. If this does happen, I can't see it not being well received. So there you go. Shin Godzilla reportedly, a sequel, sorry, reportedly in the works. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.